Welcome back, guys, to another video. Today we have another unboxing from CGC. Don't even know what cards are in here. Have no clue on the grades. A package showed up at our front door, but I know it's graded slabs because we already opened here from CGC. I was expecting some cards back. We sent them out a while ago, maybe like 1 or 2 months ago, and they finally came back. Let's see how we did. Let me just move this back here. And let's jump right in. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you're not missing out. We have a lot of content specifically on the business side of running a business. Grading cards, pallet deliveries, distribution access, stuff you won't find on any other channels. We're going to be doing a little bit differently than some of the other content you will find in the Pokemon TCG space. We are not going to, starting off with the Gem and 10, by the way, we're not going to be showing you TCG player charts and telling you to be buying Destined Rival booster boxes or anything like that. You're going to actually get some deep level insights here into what it's like running a business. Happy to answer any questions. We're still new, guys, to grading with CGC, so that's why we're documenting the journey, seeing what people are interested in, what they like. And, you know, any types of questions that you guys have, pristine 10, let's go. But yeah, any types of questions that you guys have on what it's like to run a business, feel free to let me know. Right now, I invested about $10,000 in CGC grading submissions just to see what it's like. Wanted to get a big sample size. I think I've talked about that a little bit in some of my other grading videos. Just wanted to see how the price realization is for CGC versus a company like PSA, which is who I've usually graded with. The cost to grade is a little bit cheaper with CGC, and I'm just interested to see if it's going to be better for my business. So we have a lot of illustration rares, a bunch of hollows. This is a nice one. Whale Lord, Battle Partners coming in a mint 9. Graded cards tend to do very well for a lot of businesses, but it is not for everybody. Obviously, there is risk when going down this route, just due to the fact that you're submitting cards, you're hoping for the good grades, but at the end of the day, you might not always get the grades that you are hoping for. Here we have a beautiful 151 Japanese Snorlax. A lot of Japanese on these submissions. I think English is still in grading right now. So yeah, my first trial batch was right around 1,000 CGC cards, and just wanted to see what the grades were going to be like. For our next submission, I'm going to do, and that's primarily Japanese, and then I'm going to do maybe another 2,000 English cards and have a total sample size of like 2,500 to 3,000 cards. I think that's a substantial amount of cards graded with CGC as a trial run to see if we can move the slabs at volume before we start grading, thousands and thousands of cards every single month on a regular basis. In the past, we've sold singles very well, and the singles perform extremely well. One thing that a lot of people don't understand when they're selling slabs is just the time that it takes to grade. That drives into your profit margins, because if I could sell, let's say, a Scizor single right here at a $5 profit, and as a slab, I'm getting an $8 profit, that may not be worth waiting 1 to 2 months to get the cards back from grading. And then again, with the grades, yes, you're going to capitalize and do extremely well if you hit pristine 10s or gem 10s, but that's not going to happen on every single card. It may happen for a lot of them. This submission so far, we're off to a pretty good start. Few pristines, few gem 10s, but as you saw, there were multiple 9s. And the 9s don't always sell for as good, especially with some of the more trendy stuff. People just want the 10s. And what do you do with, and let's say even lower than 9s, what do you do with 8s? People don't really want to be paying strong on 8s. Many times you're better off selling them as singles in that case. And if you're submitting so many cards and you don't know what grades you're going to get, that is why I'm actually investing my money to see for myself. I think that is going to be, failure is the best teacher, okay? If this does terrible, if this grading business model is not for me and I lose thousands of dollars, that's totally fine. I'm going into it to learn, and I'm taking you guys along for the journey. So far, with the existing cards that we have sold to, whether it's to customers or other businesses, I have found that you really, really capitalize on the pristines. That is where you make your margin. The Gem 10s tend to move very well as well, because a lot of consumers, if they don't want to pay you a huge, huge premium on a pristine 10, they're pretty much getting an identical card. Gem 10 for like half the price many times. Like the difference between a pristine and Gem 10 is tiny. Okay, there might be like one tiny nick somewhere, and that's the reason this gets a Gem 10 versus this getting the pristine. So Gem 10s obviously move very well as well. Mint 9 is definitely more like a value-based collector. I remember when I was getting into the hobby, I was only buying Mint 9s because I couldn't afford 10s, and that's what a lot of people do. So Mint 9s tend to be good too, but people just are not paying as strong. And anything like 8.5 and below, even if it is a really good card, what I've noticed is it's, for one, they're tough to sell, and sometimes you're not even able to get your cost of grading back. I mean, some of these like 8 slabs that we have sold, you're lucky if they go for $15, $20, sometimes even less. Businesses, if you are looking to cash out and they are in dire need of stock, they might pay you a little bit better, but not always, right? The market's always changing, especially with the current market that we're in. You just need to find also what types of cards, because some cards people will pay stronger on, some they will pay weaker on. What I found is Japanese cards tend to grade pretty well, but then you are not getting as huge of a premium. People just love the English, man, and that is why I'm excited to see when we do submit about like 2,000 or so cards. The Japanese, in my opinion, is still the better overall value for a collector, because when you're buying these cards, or these graded cards, you're really buying it for the artwork. You're not too hung up on the text, and it's definitely the more affordable option. But cards that, like individual art rares, oh, here's a nice one. Magikarp from Triple B with the Gyarados right there, coming in a Mint 9. I already lost my train of thought, but I think we were talking about how Japanese is more value-based. And what I mean by that is you are able to get these cards at a fraction of the price. Like this in a 9 is going to be way cheaper than the English counterpart in a 9. And the artwork's really good, so it's flashy. Types of cards like this tend to do better on like streams, live streams, things like that. They're not really like Grail-like cards. Most of these art rares, illustration rares, that's a beautiful one, pristine 10. This card, though, it's not like a Grail card in any collection, okay? This isn't a first edition Charizard. This isn't a first appearance vintage Espeon from Neo Discovery. You know, this isn't like top tier stuff. There's millions of art rares available at any given time. Yes, the artwork on them is beautiful, but they're not crazy rare by any means. They're easy to find. They're not scarce. And that's what prevents cards like that from getting crazy expensive. But that doesn't mean that you can't be successful with it. It's tough to speak on it right now, especially as we are selling. I think up until this point, I've maybe only sold a couple hundred slabs with CGC. To me, to share my experience, I do want to at least sell like 1,000 cards. We're all about getting the data, having a larger sample size. What can we go off of? For now, I do like the grading. The biggest plus with CGC is how fast they are. I mean, they get these cards back to you rapid fast. You send them one month, they're back. Sometimes 2 months, but I think their overall turnaround time, even on their website, is like 40 days. And that's usually they're much faster than that. Usually it's about like a month. And that's for the bulk slow tier. If you pay more, you're going to get a faster tier. Here's Shiny Treasures EX Mimikyu. This is the Paladin Fates promo. Here's another good piece of advice here if you've made it this far into the video. By the way, make sure to subscribe. We're dropping some gem advice right here. This, if it's the English counterpart, and it's an ETB promo for a specialty set. So Mimikyu Japanese, you could get this card in English out of the Paladin Fates ETBs. Always buy the Japanese, because when the ETBs start going way up in price, and a good example is 151. 151 Elite Trainer boxes are like $300 to $400. People are not opening those ETBs to pull out the Snorlax promo because that's available for $20. Great buy, right? Same thing could be said for the Japanese, though, because what usually happens is that as people begin to get priced out of the English, they'll just go pick up the Japanese copy for a fraction of the price, and it works particularly well with specialty sets. So comparing, not looking at the grade here, 9 versus 10, this one is going to sell significantly better than this one. They're both art rares, but just people know that, like, hey, this is the ETB promo. Would be nice to have a Japanese copy in my collection as well. So cards like that will tend to do way better as well. Another thing I noticed. But they are usually more expensive. Here we go. We got a Surging Sparks, Paradise Dragona, Gem Mint 10. Another thing I like about the Japanese personally is how they sometimes split the sets into 2, whereas in English they do 1. But yeah, you need to find out what works for you. Mint 9 on Crimson Haze. That's Twilight Masquerade English counterpart. Eevee, beautiful card, even in a Mint 9. This one would go crazy if we got the Pristine 10. Not very many Pristines at submission. CGC giving us a lot of 9s. They are holding back. We have the Infernape and a Gem 10. But yeah, definitely a lot of variety. Running these Japanese art rares. They're nice flashy cards. Great to display, and they're not too expensive. 8 on this one. Yeah, the 8s. many times, if they're not selling or if it's not even worth it to sell, you're better off just giving it to customers who are, buying other cards, things like that. A lot of businesses don't do. We do it. We like to take care of the people who are supporting our business. Always, whether it's even like free binders, playmats, whatever it may be, we always love throwing in free items for our customers. That's another business strategy that we use, and we could talk about that more in another video. As always, guys, any type of content creation ideas, whatever you guys want to know, feel free to drop it in the comments. I do try to check the comments pretty regularly. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of making the content that I want to make. I'm documenting my own journey. I invite you guys to follow along. If you want to see the different plays we're doing, different things we're testing out in the business, or even if you just like seeing a sheer amount of Pokemon, whether it's hundreds of graded cards or, as you guys know, our crazy palette videos, some of those have performed very well. You guys do like seeing just hundreds of boxes, whether it's a collection box or the blue Mega Charizard UPCs, anything like that. Make sure you are subscribing here. Seeing the engagement with the channel motivates me to make more content. It's not just for like to get monetized or make money. That's not the reason why I'm doing it. So I do hope you guys are enjoying the effort that we're putting into the content. First submission, we are looking at, or first batch, I should say. This is the first box. I think in these boxes you have about 50 cards. We got the most 9s, so quite a lot of 9s here. This one is not a home run of a submission. I'd be interested to see if we cross all these to PSA, how they do. I have to do a English or a comparison with PSA on the Japanese before we do English. Not many pristines at all. Tough on the pristines. Some of our other videos, we would have like this many pristines relative to this many 9s and 10s. So kind of weak on these first 50. We are going to do... I think that's all we'll do on this video, because I believe the second box, it might be, I think I graded like 50 copies of one card. So we're going to save that for the next video. You're going to have to subscribe, turn on those notification bells for the next one. But we are ending this submission here with, wow, surprisingly well on the Arcanine. 3 pristine 10s on the Arcanine. I have a feeling somebody's going to want to buy all 3. That just looks sick. That might even be a cool thumbnail. 3 pristine 10s. Got the Snorlax, Sprigatito, and Zapdos out of 50. So 6 out of 50. Not even hitting a 20% pristine rate. Quite low, quite low. Vast majority did come back as 9s. Let me know what you guys thought. A lot of Japanese here on these last few submissions, but we do have English coming. Just waiting for them to come back from grading. Yeah, a lot more videos coming. We are just updates here. I'm not sure when I'm going to post, but we have a couple hundred more boxes coming in. Actually cases, a couple hundred more cases. So we are going to be doing a lot of palette videos, showcasing the inventory, showing what we're buying and why we're buying it. But these slab videos, it's something different, something that we haven't done on the channel in the past. So I hope you guys are liking to see these grading reveals and the grades. And with that, we will catch you here on the next one.